Welcome, guys, to No Outside Food Allowed, episode 42. We're here to talk about the musical side of entertainment today, including our review on Bohemian Rhapsody, then our discussion on bands and musicians in movies, and of course, if you're following our Instagram, you saw our 90s movie bracket, one that we filled out, and we'll talk about that later in the show. My name's Adam, and today I'll be the Bugs Bunny of this Toon Squad.
Ooh.
Full crew with me today, Sam Lim.
Yosemite Sam. One to Tarnation.
Chris Felix.
Speedy Gonzalez. I'm not saying anything in Spanish. Screw you guys.
But
Chai made it out of the closet today.
Woo! Martian.
Well, it's our special guest, Chai.
Yes, the Martian.
The Martian.
Marvin the Martian.
Marvin, that's the one. And of course, Christopher Gagne.
You guys can't see the sign I'm holding up, but I'm Wile E. Coyote.
Little Acme sign. So I spent the week playing some Red Dead 2, running my horse into a bunch of shit.
You too?
What have you guys been up to?
Are you loving it anymore?
I'm getting a little bit more used to the controls. So it's not as bad.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
Gotcha.
it's getting there.
But so, are you actually enjoying the game though?
No, the game's fine. The controls are terrible.
Okay.
That's what my problem is.
Well, what about the controls? Don't you like?
Specifically, I don't like the fact that I'm jamming on X through a whole game. When you're on the horse, you pretty much half the game is on the horse trying to get from one point A to point B, and you're either jamming on X or holding X. It's kind of like, I don't know, it just gets to you. Instead of having, say, like R2 or L2 as go, and then you can control the horse with, both sticks at the same time instead of having to jump off and on the stick.
Okay.
I think that causes a little bit of, kind of latency slow down.
Gotcha.
That's why I'm running into trees. You don't really have that quick turn action going. So yeah,
it's okay. You're allowed to be wrong with your facts. It's okay. I understand. I still love you.
Wow.
Facts can't be wrong, Sam, for one.
I kind of feel you on that.
Facts.
I don't mind so much like the fact that you hold down X, but the fact that you have to keep pushing X to keep sprinting. Because if you just hold X, you slow down again.
Yes.
And that is pretty annoying because you literally are riding your horse half the time in this game. It's pure conversation over horse riding. I mean, it's fun though. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
The weather dynamics I was talking about with Sam earlier, it's such
the
a
rain,
gorgeous game.
The dude, the mist.
Dude, it could totally turn into a horror game too, because I was wandering through this burnt down just abandoned town, and it was pitch black night. So I brought out my lantern, and you can only see what's in front of you. It's totally silent hill, and just this little jail cell in the far back that I just thought I'd wander into, and like I said, you can't see anything in front of you. Dude, there's two shriveled up dead corpses in there, it's horrifying, dude. Nice. It's super creepy, seeing the kind of stuff that you can walk into. But I'm still liking it. I mean, it's super slow paced, honestly. I've nearly fallen asleep at some points, and that's not because it's boring. It's just because it's super late at night, and I'm trying to get to my next place.
That's true. It's true.
I understand.
If you're galloping for 5 minutes at a time, you're like,
yeah.
Sure. I'll give you guys a funny story. So I didn't get far in the game because I'm still starting, right? I'm still at the beginning stages, and particularly to the part where you have to hunt for a grizzly bear, right?
Yep.
So I find a grizzly with a tracker, and I bust out my gun to shoot, right? The grizzly, as he runs, I'm trying to shoot and have 7 shots. He ducks over to the side, and an innocent bystander that's riding his horse gets hit in the head, and I'm like, oh shit, I killed a guy. And I looked around, there's no witness. Yeah. So I took his, first I looted, of course, because that's polite.
How dare you.
You have to. And then I took his body and threw it into the lake, the little lake there.
Yeah. Let the gators get to him, or
dude, the mechanic's hilarious. His arm and his leg floated up, kind of like a Family Guy skit. It's just all weird. I'm like, okay, well, I'm sorry I killed you. I'm just gonna go away now.
Accidents happen.
Called the horse and rode off.
Dude, I don't know if you guys saw on my Twitter, but I posted this one little clip of me where I just happened to be riding by, and there's always a random character just shouts for help, and I see this guy messing with his horse, and he's trying to rip the horseshoe off. So I pull over, and I guess I startle the guy because I'm like, hey, and the guy looks up oh Lord have mercy, and the horse kicks him in the head, just dead. Shit. And I'm still in mid sentence. I'm you need help with your horse? The guy's just laying there dead.
Nice.
So I looted him.
So that saved you from a side quest. You seen that meme that's going on?
Oh yeah, yeah.
The deer was a goat. I thought it was a goat. That's
it was a deer.
It was a deer.
Hit the girl.
Randomly hits an NPC. That's pretty funny.
Saved me from a side quest.
So what about you, Chai? You've been playing a little Fortnite lately, huh?
Not as much, but I've been more. What's it called? I think hopefully a couple more months then for sure. More competitive play. But as far as it goes, it's just the game is going through the Halloween theme, so they go through I'm not a big I drop pretty much storyline games. I just play the game for skill and competitive. So everything is all about skill and competitive.
So you're hardcore? Hardcore
Yeah,
game?
pretty hardcore because obviously I want to be better than other people.
You're training for a tournament, right?
Yeah. Hopefully.
Have you tried any of the other battle royale games? Like, why do you keep going back to Fortnite?
So Fortnite really offers a more compared to other games. So you're used
That's a
to
good question.
So we played Halo, right? Everybody
Mhm.
played Halo
Sure
or some
did.
kind of shooting game, or even GoldenEye. Most shooting games is you pop out, you shoot, you switch a gun, you duck down, you move back, hide behind walls, or hide behind any object you can. Now the game mechanics of Fortnite, it offers you building structures and
Build your own cover.
you build your own cover. Now most people are annoyed by that. So, but the gameplay offers very a lot of versatility. So you have the option of building. You sit. You could wait back, go back, not fight here. The game forces you to eventually come down to one individual winner, which is anything could turn. The tides could turn really fast. So
Now for you, do you enjoy playing it more on PC or PS4?
straight PC. PC has the easier way
Speed?
to more control. But there's a few I think the last TwitchCon. I don't even know what TwitchCon is. A convention for
Twitch players. Yeah.
Twitch players. Yeah,
Or streamers.
I think they gave away 10 million in
Jesus.
prizes.
Wow.
Cash, straight cash.
For what?
For you win, or if you have the most kills in a certain amount of time, you get $20,000 in that 5-minute time frame.
Jeez.
They did invitationals for streamers, and they did 600 invites if I'm not mistaken, and they let you have the Willy Wonka, a golden ticket. If you were there at the event, you have a chance to play with streamers, and if you could win $25,000
Like
each
if
round.
you can beat them, like
Not even beat
What?
them. You play you play against 100 people,
If
and
you
if you
happen to
win,
win.
you get and then
Okay.
if you win those
Nice.
little small events,
Yeah.
then you get another $25,000 on top of that.
Jesus.
Holy crap.
Yeah, so
You better get on it, Gagne. You got this?
I'll enter my son. I'll back him. I'll be.
There
Oh,
you go.
nice,
Hell
nice.
yeah.
you'd be surprised. Kids pick
He's
up those
pretty-
games
Yeah,
so
he's
fast. It's
pretty good
nuts.
at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get to a point where they're picking them up faster than 20, 30-year-olds. That's pretty funny.
Oh, no, it's hard, dude. Like, for
It's
me,
not funny,
I
it's
don't
depressing.
enjoy it.
It's depressing. Yeah. That's true.
So your
But yeah.
son's really good at the building and shooting at the same time?
Yeah, he is. He lacks focus and discipline, but I'll work on
Was,
that.
Was he a Minecraft fan?
Yeah, he was.
So that's what the talk was about. It's a mix of Minecraft and that, but the game offers a lot of so it's free. That's definitely one.
Yep.
And two, they did the Halloween theme. So they have zombies coming out. They have everything Halloween related.
Yeah.
The theme before that was aliens. The theme before that was they had a high noon.
Yeah, they do a good job of keeping updates flowing. So
Oh,
that people
it's-
don't seem like they're
plus
playing
they
the
had
same old
Thanos
game.
on there, too.
Yeah. So
Oh, yeah.
Avengers, they
Pretty
did
cool.
Thanos. They did
Yeah.
a Thanos event. So
So,
the
yeah.
game offers a lot. They're willing to go through changes. But yeah, that's that for my life.
Welcome back, Chai.
Does your wife approve?
Oh, totally.
Okay, good.
She's good about it.
Is she playing?
Let's just squash that rumor right now.
No, she doesn't play. No.
All right, guys, let's move on to some news. See what we cover in this
Bring
week.
it.
One of the big news things was Ewan McGregor.
Hell
Good
yeah.
old Obi-Wan here. He's going to be the new Black Mask in the Birds of Prey movie coming out.
Pretty excited, dude.
Sounds pretty cool to me.
Yep.
I like it. Are they? Do you think they're going to give him an American accent though, or are they going to let him keep his natural accent?
I really wish they'd let him keep his natural accent. It sounds more threatening with the natural accent.
They do.
Because just every time I've seen Black Mask, he's just that kind of stereotypical, just I don't know. He's got that just old school mobster kind of accent. So I'm just
Yeah.
wondering if they're going to make him pull that off. Because I think he has a great just native accent. So I'd like to see him use that. I think it's just as threatening and menacing. But I don't know.
Do you think that? Do you think that wouldn't collide how you would portray him as Obi-Wan all the years? That's
He's done
always.
more than that. I mean, he's done more movies than that.
I know, but
Well, it'll be like kind of like Bane, the situation with Tom Hardy. You didn't really see
yeah.
Tom Hardy as that character because he had a mask on, he had a different voice. So I kind of feel maybe that's how this will be too.
As long as he
Okay.
doesn't do that voice.
Right.
I give the city back to you.
Oh, the lovely singing voice.
But I think we had brought up in the previous podcast that Black Mask would be a character that we thought needs to be fleshed out a little bit more as a villain. I think this
definitely.
is like a perfect role.
I would
here.
like to see him
As
at
Birds
his
of Prey.
full potential because, when he rages out, man, he just rages out so bad. Like in the comics, like at no point he says nothing. It just pulls up and shoots you in the head. Like he goes through so many henchmen.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Right. He's definitely kind of a psychopath.
Oh, definitely. And just to see Ewan McGregor bust out that range, I think it'd be cool. Because, you know, like his earlier works where he's done, like, suspense thrillers, and he was actually, like, the bad guy, but he didn't know it. It was actually really good.
Yeah, see, I was trying to think of, has he ever really played a bad guy?
Yeah, I couldn't think of one.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember.
Can't think right now.
So this role pushes his limits here a little bit. I think
Out of
that'll be
his,
good for him.
out of what we usually
Yeah,
see
absolutely.
in the person. Yeah,
So it's
in
good
the-
to see Obi-Wan go to the dark side.
Yeah, exactly.
When is this coming out?
This is gonna be the Birds of Prey movie. It's out February 7, 2020.
Oh wow, it's a while away.
Yeah, still got some time. It's not even. It hasn't even started filming yet. I don't think so.
Interesting.
So, all right, so moving on from that, let's see. Let's go into Titans, episode 4. We finally got to Doom Patrol. I think I was the only one that actually caught this one so far.
I saw some of the screenshot, though. I really do like the costumes so far. And
Yeah,
it
they
looks like a
actually look really
job.
good. I couldn't really tell who was who voice acting wise.
Okay.
But it was fine. It was just kind of an intro to their group, and they finally got into Beast Boy and his background. It was 4 episodes in, and we have only seen him for like 5 minutes.
Yikes.
But they had good chemistry between him and Raven, so I think that's going to be a good little storyline moving forward. I don't want to give up too much, I guess.
Well, it seems
'cause
like
they're
this,
gonna, like,
this season's
continue
Raven
on
focus.
into Doom Patrol, their series.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But as far as getting the group together, the
Yeah.
Titans, they finally are all 4 in one spot now in this
Okay,
episode, right?
Good,
so, it looks pretty good going forward. I still like it, man. It still it gets me going with the theme song every time. Even though some of the other music, I think we've talked about that, is a little questionable. It still continues to have some weird kind of funky beats during the fight scenes, which is a little strange. But, still liking it.
Well, I know they're trying to, like, be the cool one, you know, the teen angst one.
Yeah.
You know, I'll still give them a shot for sure. You know, I mean, this is DC All Access. Like, it's still growing. You know, so there's still more good stuff to come for sure.
Oh, totally.
Let's see. So like it already got greenlit for a second season, like before this even started up. So
Yeah.
like, does it feel like focused, like at least on one narrative, or does it look like it's already obviously like trying to plant seeds for what's to come outside of just this one show?
It's definitely kind of hinting at other things, but no, I'd say it's still pretty kind of loose and fast right now.
That's the goal. Like DC, the daily DC show. Yeah. They were talking about how the writers, this is all about introduction. So the first season, it's gonna feel slow, but it's all pure introduction
Yeah, it
only.
seems like every episode so far is introducing a new person.
Yeah,
so.
because at the very end of the episode or the season finale, it's setting up for our second season already. Like they're ready to go.
Well, let's see. Like, that's cool. I mean, my biggest concern is I know it's you guys' baby, but BVS. My biggest problem was that like it just was trying to do so much in one movie.
Yeah,
rather than
no,
just
I
focusing
understand.
on one narrative. So
trust me, I'm worried too.
Why
bro.
not? But just like I'm saying, with this, seeing as they had already announced a season 2 and a Doom Patrol before this, one series even came out, and like that's what I'm concerned is like, are they not going to focus on just one, cohesive narrative and then just focus more on how it's going to branch out, in the future before it even gets its feet going? So,
well, I guess it could be similar to Daredevil, where that's the main good one, and then it branches out into other ones.
no, those are spin-offs. Those, yeah.
That were all not that good.
Well, it's a good way to test. I mean, that's a good point to bring up because what if it catches? Like, you don't know what character is going to catch. Like, perfect example was Captain America. Black Panther showed up. Everybody just went nuts, and they're like, all right.
Wakanda forever.
Well, something like Swamp Thing.
Cashable.
Swamp Thing that's coming out, not a very known character. There was a movie in the 80s, but, it could, like you said, catch fire, and everybody's like, a Swamp Thing fan now. And who knows? It just depends on how
The
they
Groot
portray him,
of DC. That's
kind of.
Hey, dude, I like Swamp Thing when I was a kid. That old cheesy movie, I love
Yeah.
that. They made a
dude.
cartoon about it too.
Hell
It was
yeah,
dope.
USA
Yeah.
had all the action figures, bro.
Oh yeah, that was a little toy whore about all of those things.
What's the plan for Titans? How many episodes this season?
I think it's short, right? 8 or
10?
9.
I would imagine it's
10?
probably
Okay.
about 10. Yeah,
Somewhere
they're
around
on 4 now, so we still got some
Okay.
time to flesh out some things and,
Maybe I'll wait till it gets to episode 6 and I'll start binging it. Let it get out a little further and I'll binge it out.
I'm with you.
Totally. I think making it a weekly show is hurting it, to be honest. I think if we binged it, it would probably seem a little faster, a little better.
How are you
Not
guys
so-
feeling on the app itself? Like, I've had some issues with it, the way it's operating, and
Yeah.
I'm wondering if they're going to get those kinks worked out.
Yeah, I agree. It's not the best app.
mean,
it's hard
we're-
to find things
'cause we're still in
It's-
beta, right?
You can't really, you don't really know what's on the app.
Yeah.
You know,
Until you take a look at it.
yeah, you really kind of have to search for things specifically if you know what you want. Yeah.
So looking at like as a programmer side,
Yeah.
I could tell it's like a rush production because they're trying to get their feet out before like knowing that Disney announced their streamline already, but DC just made the launch faster than they did.
Right.
So
But see, they shouldn't do that. I can't stand that.
but that's the thing. Like it's a competition
time
game.
thing.
Who makes it first?
Yeah.
Because because Amazon is way ahead of the game
Yeah.
if you pay for Prime, but there's also that extra that you pay. So in reality, like I know they're playing catch up, but if they're gonna put in the money and make the fixes, then the hot fixes they need to make, then I think it'd work out. I mean, so far, yeah, I agree with you, Gagne. The app is not like as functional as it should be. There's like glitches and problems, but good news is that the content is sitting there.
Right. It
Yeah.
serves its
Oh, yeah.
purpose now
Yeah.
to get it to us. They'll fix it in the future, hopefully.
Hopefully,
Yeah, my
yes.
issues lie more on like connectivity with certain things. Like I try to cast to my TV, it doesn't work. I've tried to get it on my laptop, and the feed just doesn't. Like there's nothing wrong with my internet. Everything else is working fine, but for some reason, when I get on that app, it drags.
Really?
And
Interesting.
I've
I
only
haven't
been able
had-
to watch on my phone.
No, that's weird. I haven't had any issues as far as connectivity. Just as far as searching.
12 episodes for Titans.
12?
They're
12
looking for
episodes? There
12
you go.
episodes. Sorry.
Dang, 12? That's a big investment.
It's a lot of angst.
Well, not only that, but like
that's
like,
a whole
like-
other argument for another
Oh,
show.
yeah.
But the 12 episode season versus the 20 episode season, you know.
Yeah, true. But like we said before, I just get worried when DC rush things because it doesn't turn out too well sometimes, man. And I really want to root for them, you know. Like I'm really behind DC, but
Justice League.
when-
Oh, what? Sorry.
well, I thought we were friends. Why you hurt my feelings? I'm not sending you an advent calendar anymore. No more advent calendars for you.
All right, guys, let's jump to some Marvel news. We had Vision, or Paul Bettany, is now going to join Elizabeth Olsen's Scarlet
You mean
Witch.
he's gonna make more money still?
Yes.
That sounds crazy.
Got to get that Marvel money, man. So they
Like-
got a new show on their Marvel streaming channel, I guess. So they're both going to have their own little duo.
Awesome.
Kinda
I love this.
team up episode type of thing. Yeah, I think it's gonna
Dude,
be
they're famous for being a couple in the comics. Like they're long married. They had crazy psychotic episodes
yeah,
together.
Oh yeah.
So I'm excited for that. That's like a deep cut. I mean, not really a deep cut, but it's just like such a big part of the Marvel universe that I never really thought would get
kind of
explored.
like a Rogue and Gambit
Kinda,
spin-off
yeah.
type of
Yeah,
thing.
a little
like,
bit.
you know, something you'd
They're
never.
both weird
Can we get
characters.
Hugh Jackman back on the thing first before we do this spin-off? Like,
I would love to see Hugh Jackman back.
See, I really
in the suit,
hope
but-
that they kind of use this streaming service. Like, I would love to see like one-off, just kind of like just those one-shot comic arcs, like just per episode. Like, if you
Yeah.
see like a Marvel Zombies episode or just something like that, you could do the Hulk versus Wolverine thing, just like in one episode. You didn't have to do a full like one-season series. I would love it if they kind of start doing stuff like that. But I don't know. I think this is cool. I'm glad that they're actually doing these weird cuts out of the comics.
That'd be pretty cool to see, like how they played all this out. Because then we'll see the after effect of Infinity War and how it takes a toll in the relationship. You know,
I'd like to see more team up TV shows,
I wonder-
like a Falcon and
Bucky.
Ant-Man?
Bucky.
Yeah.
Yes, totally.
oh dude, that'd be
That's gonna
good
be
cop.
awesome.
oh, that would
That'd
be
be good
great.
cop, bad
Actually,
cop TV
Do you guys
show.
that hate each other? It's gonna be great.
yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. And they're stuck with that little beetle. Oh,
that they're stuck in the back.
The seat,
Can you move the seat up?
That just got me thinking right now, dude. If Vision, like they start doing the whole Vision and Scarlet Witch thing, like what if they lead up to House of M with that? Like maybe they
Yeah,
have the kids.
no more
and-
mutants, all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. They could do like
They could do
like
so much.
One season could cover like an arc.
That's what I'm saying,
right?
dude. Just do like these one shot, like just focus on one story for a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, move on
Oh,
to
yeah.
the next story,
That'd be
man.
sweet.
what would you want to see, Gagne?
I'm just happy that they're taking their established, characters that they've spent so much time and effort on and putting them into more stories. Like it's just genius. Like, okay, hey, we've done this 10 years, we have all of these characters now. People
True.
know them, people love them. We can do whatever we want. We can put it on
definitely. Let's start doing
ABC,
more.
on our streaming. We can do more, one-off movies like they're going to do with Scarlet Witch, Black Widow,
Widow.
sorry.
Black Widow, yeah.
So it's exciting. And to see this talent like signing on to do it, just like, yes.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
like
gonna be
we didn't
fun.
have to get another, recasting or anything.
Yeah.
Like,
Now we're spoiled.
totally
We're
awesome.
so spoiled. I mean, these are like high-level actors. Paul Bettany, like he's an Oscar-winning actor. Like he's going to do a TV series for Marvel on,
exactly.
on a streaming service. Like
Yeah.
that shit used to be below actors back in the day. Oh,
Right.
never
Oh,
go to
yeah,
TV.
not
And
like
make it
more.
that this man has to wear. Like, look at how this man looks, and he's acting
plus
so dramatic.
All the
It's
dots,
so great.
all the dots he's put on his face.
Everything. It looks so
Mocap?
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But damn it, I thank him for it.
Well, plus I think if we can get this right, I think the first step would be Black Widow, and maybe a cameo with Bucky, and see some of the missions they had together in the past. That'd be kind of cool to see, you know, because their first interaction during Civil War, she's like, "You know me, you remember me, right?" And I'm like, "Oh, they'll probably talk about like missions in the past." I definitely want to see that for sure.
Their history, yeah.
Yeah.
So curious, maybe you guys can answer this question. Between TV series versus like one big movie like that, usually what generates more revenue? Like a one season, like let's say an average of 15
definitely the
episodes.
movie.
Like,
Oh,
it's a
movie.
movie.
Yeah,
What's
okay.
making the
Yeah,
money?
the
Yeah,
movie.
the movies, dude.
Oh,
Because
okay.
movies include merchandise.
We
too.
don't forget, you know, Disney just spent like 15 billion, so you got to make up the money somehow.
I'm sure they'll be okay, Jack.
They have a money print button. They just
Yeah,
push it.
Star
It's
Wars
on.
Land opens in Disneyland really soon. I don't think they're gonna,
They'll be
go.
just fine.
it's just another mint they're opening.
Yeah, totally. Printing Disney bucks.
Plus,
Easy.
plus, I'm sure Disney is okay, especially when they had, what's it, the horror nights. You know, when Disney does like their Halloween specials at the parks, they'll be okay. They get enough money.
Disney's not going anywhere. They're going to be just okay. Don't worry about them.
Well, let's move on from Disney then, because they get enough coverage.
I know.
I
just love them so
Oh,
much.
you don't pay for the copyrights?
We just want 1%.
Ching,
That's all.
ching, ching. So, all right, we'll move on to Gladiator 2 was announced.
Boo.
Years and years
Boo.
after.
sorry.
Dang,
Don't do it.
I don't even have to say anything.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Boo.
Wait, we've got to ask Gagne first. What do you think, Gagne?
So we have, what is that? Our running thing with John about, how that didn't deserve to win Best Picture, and now he's actually going to
Moulin
win that
Rouge?
argument because they're making a sequel and going to just deteriorate a great story that needed no sequel. Like, what are you
So-
going to do in this movie?
So Gladiator 2 versus Moulin Rouge 2? That's what's going to happen?
I mean,
That'd be fun.
I would rather see a Moulin Rouge 2. Like, the story can continue there. Like, there's nothing what you're milking a name in this. Like, this is not like a prequel to Alien type situation for Ridley Scott. It's just like, hey dude, we need some money. So
Yeah, what's that big property we haven't seen in a while?
yeah.
So I guess
don't
this
get it.
one's supposed to follow Lucius, which was the little boy in the first one. It was nephew to Commodus, the leader. But I don't really know where they're going to take it without having Maximus and his guidance. Where's the kid go from there? Like what's
Are
the
you
point?
not entertained?
Yeah, we won't be, I'm sure.
That was good. That was good.
Good one.
I guess that's all we really need to say about
I wish-
Gladiator.
I wish-
Unless- until we see a trailer, we'll see.
I wish our audience can see the look on Flex's face because he's like so perplexed right now. He's like, why?
Seriously.
Why is this happening?
I have like nothing else to say, but like, why? Just stop. It was perfect. It's such a great movie, and like you're just taking away.
Does your
the
heart
impact.
hurt? Does your
Yes,
heart
it
hurt?
all hurts. Like, just stop. Boo. Just put it back. Can't have it. Put it back.
Well, like I said, when we see a trailer, we'll give you some more info. That's
You
supposed
know
to be
what?
coming out
You
by
let us know,
Paramount.
audience. You let us know how you feel about it. I mean, did you grow up on this movie? Did you enjoy it? Like, let us know how you feel about this whole situation because I don't know how it's going to really play out, man. I mean, it's so old. The property itself, like, you're kind of cashing out a little too late,
Yeah.
the only people that can do that, I'm sorry to say it, but it's like Toy Story. Like, Toy Story was gone for so long. They came back, and boom, they won more money again.
Or like Incredibles.
And again,
Yes.
the characters are still alive. Like, you don't have anyone alive in this
Exactly.
movie, like in this franchise. Like, what do you do? Like, yeah, again, he said you're following the nephew. Like, I don't know. it's a
far
cash
reach.
grab. We're just gonna throw that name and slap it on there and say
alright,
it's a
so
sequel.
This wasn't on my little rundown, but let's throw it out there because it's maybe a cash grab. Bad Boys for Life.
Whoa, bro,
Is that,
bro,
it's
bro,
3? Is that
Yeah.
the-
Bad Boys 3.
bro,
Yeah.
bro. I'm actually up for that action.
No,
Who's
the
that?
second one
Jaden
was
Smith?
garbage.
Is it Jaden Smith playing?
No.
Is it
No,
Jaden
it's-
Smith?
Hell no. It's the original team, bro. Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, bro.
Maybe he might pass the torch.
The
This is
sequel was
time.
garbage.
The sequel's garbage.
Bro,
The first one was amazing.
The sequel's garbage, but it's an action movie that you enjoy. It's just mindless action shooting. I'm down for that. It's like another rock movie.
Oh,
You ever
man.
shot two guns, both
Breaking my heart. Breaking my heart, Sam.
Jump in the air at the same time.
Thank you. All right, moving on. I wanted to quickly cover BlizzCon, because that was this weekend. Jai and I were kind of laughing at this earlier. It was such a letdown in one particular property, which is my favorite property, Diablo. We've been waiting for this big announcement that most people are thinking.
You guys been waiting
it's either gonna
forever
be
on Diablo, bro.
Like a remaster of Diablo 2, or finally getting Diablo 4 after 8 years, or maybe even a new
Some
character
kind of
class.
add-ons, yeah.
Instead of what we get a fucking mobile game.
Yeah. They said, oh, it's on mobile, and everybody just booed. Like,
Tell me the stats you were saying earlier.
Oh, okay. So it was like all booed, and this is like me talking to one of my best friends about this. He was like filling me in like what was going on. So he said everybody booed, and then the guy goes, "What? You don't own a phone or something?" And then like that's on YouTube. It was like 50 million views, like literally 80% thumbs down.
Wow.
And so they
You said
took,
you had like millions of views. Too,
oh yeah, it was
so,
yeah.
like,
So they took the
crazy
video
now.
down, they re-uploaded with the cuts. The moment they put it up, 8,000 thumbs down, like right off the like 5 minutes in. So like they really failed. I mean,
The fan base is not happy.
yeah.
You know, this is a strictly PC game for 25 years.
Oh,
you
well,
know,
plus
so-
we're talking like 20, 30 years already.
and a
there.
strong fan base that is looking for the next one. And you know, Blizzard's
To-
notorious for putting out games really, really late. And,
Garbage.
But you know, they take their time to put out a great game. It just takes a really long time.
Yeah.
Well,
And so then for them to announce this mobile game now, we're put up another 10 years until Diablo 4 comes out.
They never had to do it to begin with in the first place. Like they had such a good fan base already on PC. Like look at that, Call of Duty 3 was on Blizzard. I don't know if you knew that. The downloading platform was on Blizzard and PlayStation, so you could have played on
Battle.net?
Yeah, Battle.net. So pretty much, I was like, I don't know why change what they're doing.
I feel like they're just jumping in the ring here onto mobile. You know, like everybody else is doing it. We got to get a
okay.
piece of that
Well,
pie.
what to be-
8,000
to be-
8,000
To be
thumbs
fair,
down.
also like when I did play World of Warcraft for a while, like every time they're like launching a new add-on, right, or a new game, right, they build it up, and you wait till midnight, you install it, you
And
hop
the servers
on,
are down.
and the server breaks down, or you can't play it, and you're like, what the fuck, Blizzard? I waited this long. You hyped it up for so long. Like, I feel like
that is they're partially because their fan base. You know, they have
That I understand.
a very
I read-
loyal fan base.
I prefer like a bunch of people crashing the servers, because knowing that there's a bunch of people trying to play, that's make more fun.
rather than it being like some sort of internal problem.
Yeah, their expansion.
Okay.
Their expansion did a really good. I mean, their expansion's been a really good job. The last
Yeah.
one, but yeah, man.
well, what's your favorite Blizzard game, Gagne? You like World of Warcraft, or do you like StarCraft more?
Crickets. I got nothing other than that sounds like a really bad idea to launch a mobile game.
It could
When
be
you're
worse. Could be
not known
could be
for
Movie
that.
Pass.
Yeah, exactly. When you're not known for it.
Yeah, it's a bad business decision. Like,
Yeah, they've been pumping out World of Warcraft for 20 years. You know, so
And they're good job at
Oh my
it.
god,
Yeah.
is it that old?
oh yeah.
Oh yeah, they just released the last expansion, and that sold out. Like it was not just sold out; it just sold like crazy.
Jeez.
I didn't realize people still played that.
Oh yeah, it's
still
a
probably-
whole lifestyle, bro. Like
That's
you live and breathe World of Warcraft. You wait for calendar events.
That's right. Who got salty that I put for the horde on Instagram? Who was it?
Oh, Edward, your buddy Edward.
Anyway.
You guys are a bunch of nerds.
All right, moving on.
Says the
from
guy with
nerd
the cool
stuff.
X-Men shirt.
Hell yeah.
All right, guys. So, big movie come out this week.
Ooh.
Bohemian Rhapsody, or
Yes.
that song from Wayne's World. We all know and love. Felix and Gani both saw this one. Big expectations, Oscar nods, all that kind of stuff.
Take it away.
Talking about, yeah. What'd you guys think? Take it away, Sam.
What?
That's a quote, not you.
What? I don't understand.
Play it again, Sam. I think that's what
Yeah.
you're trying to do.
But
Right.
go ahead, Gagne.
Oh, I'm leading. All right.
Sure.
Let this gush fest begin. I loved it. I will say that I do not think it is on a best picture level, but it's so much fun. I mean, it's a 2 hour and 15-minute movie, and it did not feel like it. Like, if you feel like you're at a rock concert at some points, and that's probably like at the very end, they show just about the entire Live Aid set. Like, they recreated it, and it was just so fun and so entertaining and so moving. Like, I got chills a couple times in the movie. Yeah, Rami Malek was awesome. I had to look up and remind myself, like, I forgot that Bryan Singer was the director on this, and then got like shit canned in the similar like Zack
Good
Snyder
word.
like family stuff was going on, but the guy who stepped in and did it, Dexter Fletcher, like he did an awesome job. He finished the movie. He's doing Rocket Man with Taron Egerton, so I mean you kind of can already see like what that's going to be, because he did it justice. Like I don't know, it blended well. Like it felt like you noticed on like Justice League where Snyder was and where Whedon was, and this wasn't one of those situations where it felt like a fluid movie, and it was so much fun.
So it didn't get hit by that director change like the last few movies have?
It did not feel like it. Yeah. No, not at all.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I actually didn't know that. I didn't know that singer had to leave. So what happened? What made him leave?
So there's conflicting stories, and there's supposed to be something coming out, but it was like right before the new year changed, and basically he wasn't showing up to set. The DP was stepping in and filling in on days, like he was just missing. Singer blamed it on like family issues, like he had a mother or father or something that was sick, and he was flying back to see them, but there was just like, he's I guess apparently known to be a diva on set and doesn't show up sometimes, and so Fox was like, well, you can have this job, but like no bullshit, and if you don't show up, you're out. And that's what happened. So he blamed it on family issues. They said it didn't matter at that point. He was being a pain in the ass, and I don't know. So there's supposed to be a story coming out pretty soon.
He actually also got caught up in the Me Too scandal also, like a few days after he got fired. Like he got accused of, I think, potential rape of like a young actor on certain sets. So
what the fuck?
Yeah, he got caught up in all this stuff. That's why he was removed from, I think his company got shut down too, but he's back to work, as of right now, I think.
Oh,
yeah, Fox kicked out his production company. They basically were like, you're gone.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
What the hell?
So caught up in the movie.
Who's the new director that stepped in? Because I never heard the guy before. Maybe
Dexter Fletcher. He directed Eddie the Eagle, which was also Taron Egerton. Had I think Hugh Jackman as well. It's like the small comedy. He's done some TV stuff as producing, and then he's got Rocket Man now. So
okay, Eddie the Eagle was pretty good when I watched it, so it's not too bad. I'm just really surprised. I didn't know this was a 2-director movie like this.
And they gave Singer the credit though. He was the director on it for credit, so it's kind of interesting.
He probably had a certain percentage of the movie already in production. So
on IMDb, I think he has sole director's credit, which is kind of sad.
Huh. So what'd you think, Felix?
I loved it. This is, like you said, Gani, it really felt like you're at a concert at certain points. I think it told a great story about Freddie Mercury and the whole band as Queen. There's like a lot of controversy. I guess this movie was coming together. Like Sacha Baron Cohen was originally attached to play Freddie Mercury. And the band, the rest of the surviving members, they got more involved with the production. So there's a lot of conflict as far as what the story was telling. But what we ended up with, I really loved. It told a great deal of Freddie's story, as well as his relationship with the band, and his own personal life, and his to his eventual death of AIDS. And then if just any of his performance, any of his history with Queen, Freddie Mercury was like just a god on stage. His persona, he was untouchable. And my God, dude, Rami Malek kills it in this. Like there is certain points where like I was like, dude, that is Freddie Mercury come back to life. Like at the end when like Ganya said that, they pretty much covered all of Live Aid, and it does give you chills, man. Like when you just hear those songs kick up again, like it really did send shivers down my spine. I'm sure.
Plus the sound in the theater too.
Yeah, I saw it in Cinema XD also. Like, dude, like you kind of want to like cheer too after every song and applaud, man. And they really captured just that magic of what Live Aid was, like seeing all those people come together. And
which was for those who don't know.
Well, it was a concert. I believe it was a charity for Africa, helping out a lot of just kids and families.
I had a question.
Details right now off the top of
so in the movie, was there any moment at all in the movie where it's like a young version of Sting coming into?
No,
not Sting, but David Bowie.
That was actually exactly what I said to my brother as we walked out. He saw it with me. I kind of wanted some more like little cameos of like famous musicians, because they do a lot of name drops and they do play Under Pressure. No, you don't see Bowie, unfortunately, but you do see the making of Under Pressure.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. And that's actually like I'm a sucker for just behind the scenes docs about just people recording albums. Like I love watching documentaries of bands record their music and just see that creativity come to life. Yeah, because like nowadays, like to me, the majesty of being a rock star doesn't exist as much as it used to, because back then, like they weren't so accessible. Not like nowadays where everybody has Twitter, social media, you can easily talk to them. Yeah. Back then, me growing up, like I just heard them on records, and like this is what they sound like. I see the music videos. I don't even know what they sound like when they speak. I just know what they sound like doing their music. So
I agree.
They're godlike figures, and
definitely.
I love seeing just when them let their hair down, just kind of see the behind the scenes magic, and to see it happen with Queen. I mean, even though it's like a Hollywood production, I loved seeing the making of some of these songs. Like I said, when they start playing the bass line, the Under Pressure. I mean, not Under Pressure. Oh my God, I'm totally playing.
Another One Bites the Dust.
Yes, Another One Bites the Dust. It just like even seeing the band get distracted in the middle of an argument, like that's pretty good, and then they kind of get into it.
bass
You know?
line, right?
And then the recording of Bohemian Rhapsody, of course, is just like I loved it. I loved every just those sequences are so good, man.
Mamma Mia.
Yeah, and then shout out to the guys that play the band members, dude, because like especially the guy that played Brian May, I had to look him up. Gwilyn Lee. I've never heard of him before, but holy crap, dude, that guy. That's Brian. That's
can
Brian
act the
May,
fuck
dude.
out of him.
Same guitar, and like one of my biggest pet peeves about people playing musicians in film is when they don't mime their instruments right. I don't mean to be a snob about that, but learn a fucking chord. Like when they just like kind of strum their hands aimlessly, that really takes me out of the movie.
Yeah.
I believed every one of these guys was really being those musicians and performing every one of those pieces.
snap.
I loved it, and like I said, Rami Malek, just you see the passion when he's singing those notes and just hitting everything there. It's so good. Like I said, it sent shivers down my spine, and I loved it. It's fantastic. I really recommend going and check it out.
Nice. All right, so one question for both of you. Felix, do you have to be a fan of Queen in order to enjoy this movie?
No, I think it's a good story. It's definitely a bonus, if you're a fan of the music, because like I said, once you see your favorite songs come up, it's just a nice little treat to see the construction of that. But no, overall, the story was very good. It's sad too. It's a perfect example of being on top of the world, yet being the loneliest person, around. Also, so it really captures some really bittersweet.
So it's like a
moments.
bittersweet situation.
Definitely.
Damn, bro. I wish I can go watch it right now, man. I want to go watch it so bad.
All right, and then I got to be a little bit of a downer for Gagne here. This has a 59% on Rotten Tomatoes. Why is that?
Because it's I think there was a lot of expectation heaped onto it, and I think that while it is so entertaining, it's not like it's just a bunch of, like Felix said, stories of like how they made these huge hits, and a lot of Freddie and a lot of fluff, and not a lot of like real in-depth like story of like why these people are the way they are. They give you a little bit of it, but not a lot. It was more about the music and the band and how they made these incredible songs that like we still love and play all the time. So I think it's some of that. I think when you've got a film that's surrounded in like shitty production and stories of singer getting credit, I think that carries a little bit of weight too. And so I think it's getting shit on a little bit unnecessarily, because I think you need to be celebrating someone like Rami Malek, who he should deserve an Oscar nod for that at least. While the movie wasn't amazing, it was so entertaining and so fun, and he did an amazing job. So I don't know, I think critics sometimes can get a little too ahead of themselves, expecting a film to be this masterful art piece, and it can also just be fucking entertaining and really entertaining.
So was it a little more documentary than it was drama? Is that
I was gonna ask that. Was it like a musical? Like, I mean, that's
like
what
behind the scenes,
like
Is
a
it all
musical.
behind the
Like they
No,
like
it was a drama. Like
Oh, okay.
it had all the elements of just the struggle, with his addiction and just his relationships and whatnot, and then drama between the band and just the creative process of writing all the music. But yeah, no, it was definitely just a scripted drama. Really good stuff though.
Cool.
Nice.
Very nice.
Pretty excited. So, what is the rating that you guys give it? The look on your
Danny?
face, bro.
I'm giving it a 9.
Come on, Crit. Come on, Flex. Let's give it a 9. I know you want to give it a 9, bro.
See, I kind of want to start doing letter grades.
8.9.
Yeah, this is like a solid like 8.
This is a B and a half.
I want to give this
A
like
minus?
a 9.
Yeah, B
like an
plus.
A minus. Yeah, like
Okay.
totally. Like it's totally worth seeing. I think it
So-
really has
so
a great
9.
arena vibe. Yeah.
Now we have to start our own rating system, the Nofa rating system, the A B C D.
Well, no, we'll have everybody look up everybody's rating system because no one agrees. Someone has
And go back to the Loyanye scale.
No, we're not gonna do that anymore. I like our
I want
number.
that scale.
Oh, are you guys gonna see? Can I give like one minor spoiler? This is such a great moment that happens in the movie.
Yeah. Shit.
Okay, so Mike Myers is in this movie.
Yes.
And I
What?
totally didn't realize it. It was a total like Tom
I didn't
Cruise's
either.
Rex Grossman
Was he
kind of
Elton
thing.
John?
No, he's like the producer that kind of like basically has him signed
He's
to this label.
He's the owner of
Oh.
EMI Records, who
Yeah.
they
There you
they dropped Queen.
Yeah, exactly. So he's the guy.
The Mike
in the
Myers.
commercials, where you see the guy saying, like, he's complaining that Bohemian Rhapsody is too long.
Yeah.
But it's hilarious because if everybody knows Mike Myers, he was Wayne Campbell in Wayne's World, and we
Yes.
all know that famous scene of them headbanging to Bohemian Rhapsody. And he actually is one of his arguments for not wanting the song to be a single is just like nobody will ever bang their heads to this in cars. And Mike Myers is saying this line.
Yes.
Are you
It's so
serious?
fantastic.
That
Yes.
is great.
I love it. So
I love that scene. I didn't know that before.
That
That's
scene's
a sense of
fantastic. That whole interaction between him and Rami and like just fighting and like
Yeah.
about the single is amazing.
it's good. It's so good, man. Go watch it.
All right, sounds good, guys. Let's move on from there to other movies with bands in them.
Ooh.
This got us thinking about some of those other crazy type of movies.
Oh, yeah.
One that I really liked that I kind of immediately thought of was That Thing You Do.
Yeah, yeah.
Theo Neaters.
Yes.
The Neaters,
Neaters.
yes, The Wonders. This was Tom Hanks was like the band manager.
Yeah.
A bunch of random guys. It was like a Beatles pop band in the 60s.
Yeah, definitely.
And
It was a
just,
fun movie, dude.
It was very fun,
Yeah.
and it had a catchy tune to it.
Oh, definitely.
Really dug that one. What'd you guys have?
I will tell you the two that I have. Euro Trip, Scotty Doesn't Know, with
That's funny.
Matt Damon. That was hilarious.
A little cameo by
fictional
Matt
band.
Damon. That's funny.
And then one of my favorites still is the Can't Hardly Wait, the band Love Burger.
Oh, wow. I don't remember that.
Yeah, he's reaching for that one.
Yeah, that was a
Can't
good
Hardly
one,
Burger?
bro. Huh?
Love Burger? Is that what-
Yeah, or Love Something. Like they broke up and they got back together.
Yeah,
It was
I forgot about this.
right.
Dude, it was so good, bro. Like they were the one band trying to be famous. They're giving out free T-shirts, but everybody's too busy getting drunk. It's a scene where he's like, "Everybody, stop drinking the beer. It tastes bad. It tastes bad."
Those are good ones, man. Scotty Doesn't Know. That's a great song. What do you got,
Ooh.
Felix?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Come back to you, Sam.
I got kind of a list. I'll just mention a couple because I don't want to trample over everybody else's. But I actually went TV first. My first choice was Death Clock from Metalocalypse.
Good call.
Show.
Good call, bro.
Yeah, it's an animated,
It's a good one.
Sure.
perfect, like over the top,
But
stereotypical metal
the
band.
albums were so good.
Their music is actually really good. I dig it. Like, it might seem ridiculous, just the one singer that can't speak outside of his, deep singing range, just like with every conversation that he has. But the music is actually really good. It's all done by Brendan Small. Like, it's just really awesome metal music. It's so over the top. They write their lyrics from the Necronomicon. I mean, like they're writing
amazing.
guitar solos, jumping out of planes. It's so ridiculous, but I love it. That, and then also Rockstar with a Steel Dragon with Mark Wahlberg.
yes.
I love that. That just come on, stand up and shout. So good. They actually have Zach Wilde playing guitar in there. Like it's the perfect example of what rock and roll was in the 80s. Just hair metal, big hair, loud voices. It's good stuff, dude. It's so entertaining. It's pretty much, I think, what Motley Crue and
Except for
like
the
all
Mark
those guys
Wahlberg
did.
part.
on it.
Except for the Mark Wahlberg
he actually
part.
did a good job.
He's good in that movie.
Actually, I like Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, it was good. I got a few others, but I'll let you guys finish your choices.
What do you got, Gani?
All right, so I went with the fiction. I had The Wonders, so I
Yes,
was a little
The
broken up
Wonders.
by that. But I went with Marvin Berry and the Starlighters from Back to the Future.
yes.
So
Whoa.
it's your cousin,
Yes.
Marvin Berry.
Berry.
I mean,
Fantastic.
getting
on there.
Michael J. Fox up there playing, Johnny B. Good, and it's just so that's still one of my favorites because that scene is just made by that character.
Awesome. That's a classic one. All right, I gotta go with Airheads, 1994.
Oh, good one.
Lone Rangers.
Yes, the Lone Rangers was Brendan Fraser, Steve Buscemi, Adam Sandler.
You're not exactly lone. There's three of you guys.
Fantastic. They're playing, in the prison, and it was just a classic comedy.
Oh man, that's so good. That's so good.
I need to watch that right now.
I know it's. Really,
I was gonna do the extra mention of it's not a band, but just a sequence when he was singing. I know it's not from the '90s, but what you call it? Austin Powers 2, Goldmember was like, "Daddy, Daddy doesn't care." Like he was singing that song, dude. I couldn't stop laughing. Like it was
It
stuck in my
actually came out
head.
as a music video, I think, too, in that era as promotion.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, I think so.
Nice.
I
Oh,
remember
my
seeing it
God.
on MTV or VH1 or something.
We got to put that on YouTube or put in our Instagram page, like a
Yeah.
little clip of it.
I got a few more though. I pretty much mentioned everybody in Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Oh, bro.
The Sex
Yeah.
Bombs.
It's great.
Clash of Demon Head.
The soundtrack is amazing.
It's really good.
bro.
Actually, Beck's on there, Metric's in there. There's a lot of good artists
Yep.
in that. That was another mention. I don't know if you guys saw Sing Street that came out a couple years ago. This is
Sounds familiar.
This is a British movie. I think it was an indie movie, but it's basically about a bunch of middle school kids that start a band. It starts
Okay.
off as one kid just trying to start a band to impress a girl. This takes place in the 80s, so it's all like new wave synth music, Duran Duran. So if you're a fan of that stuff, you
Ooh.
got to check this out.
Yes.
But it turns into something so much more by the end of that. It has some really deep, like just family stuff. It really hits you right in the
So
feels
it
by
has,
the
it
end.
has good heart to it.
Really good heart, but it's a
Nice.
great movie. If you're a fan
What's
of
it
the
called
new wave
again?
80s, Sing Street.
Sing Street.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, go check that out. It's really good. And then last one I had to mention. Anybody saw the Goofy movie back in the 90s? Powerline.
No way,
Yes,
you did
dude.
not do
Wow.
that.
Yeah, I did.
I did
Yeah.
not go there.
I used to watch that movie all the time, and then I had to finish it because I had to get to that concert at the end. Man.
It was really good.
that was really
Props.
good stuff, man.
Props, brother. Well played. Well
he was
played.
basically the Michael Jackson of the Goofy world.
Oh,
but-
definitely.
That's some deep ones there. All right.
What about you, Chai? What about you, Chai? Got
I
anything?
can't recall anything. Like I can't remember any.
Because you weren't born in America.
Wow. Rude. Damn.
All right, in that case, I'll take over here. We got a
Yeah.
couple of mentions here. Wild Stallions, Bill and Ted.
Wow, how did I miss that?
Yes.
Come
Bro.
on, you guys love that. You love that one. Almost Famous. I don't really remember the band, but it was about a kid
Yeah.
that was part of a
Good
Rolling
mention.
Stones magazine. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was following a band around. Really good.
Billy
movie.
Crudup.
What else did I have? Walk the Line, Tenacious D the movie, Blues Brothers. All these had some great bands in them.
Nice.
What else? Did you guys have anything else?
Dewey Cox.
Yeah, I was about to say Dewey Cox.
Oh yeah, I was gonna go with something a little more lighthearted, but once I don't know if you guys ever saw this, but Glenn Hansard, who's a real musician, and then Marketa Erglova, she's I think a pianist. They made this like cute, indie love story where they record this album over a weekend and kind of like love that can't happen. It's just a beautiful movie, and the music in it I absolutely love. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. I think it's on Netflix too.
Nice.
What was it called again?
Once.
Once.
I still listen to the soundtrack, to this day, and it was like, 10-year-old movie.
Definitely check it out then. Sounds pretty good, bro.
Very cool. All right, moving on. We got a category very similar, but it's bands that we think should be in a movie.
Or deserves a movie, right?
Deserve a movie, whatever.
Okay.
Well,
Same difference, but similar to Queen. They
Yeah.
had quite the story that they could tell. It's very dramatic. So
There's also like The Doors by Oliver Stone. He
Totally.
did that back in the 90s also.
Yep.
Val Kilmer.
go ahead, start, Felix. Yeah, I know you're kind of the music aficionado. Who would you like to see in their own movie?
Okay, so this is actually like really hard. I was thinking about a lot of different musicians, and the problem is I feel like I've seen so many made for like TV movies or just like
Yeah.
old classic artists that I like. But started thinking, I would like to see a movie kind of done from the perspective of Megadeth, actually. So, in particular, Dave Mustaine. So,
Yes.
I'm gonna nerd out into some music for a little
he
bit.
got
But
screwed over.
if anybody knows me, like I am the biggest Metallica nut around.
Yes,
I will
you are.
defend that band till I die. Before they really blew up and they released their first album, Kill 'Em All, Dave Mustaine was actually their guitarist, not their original founding guitarist, but he wrote a lot of their music. He actually has some writing credits on their first two albums. But he got fired promptly for being an asshole and for just drinking way too much, even though Metallica was known for being alcoholica back in the 80s. Anyway, so Dave Mustaine goes off and he forms Megadeth, and they're a very successful band on their own, but just from what I gathered, and this is totally my perspective of just seeing Dave Mustaine in my eyes, he kind of had a lot of spite towards Metallica for being kicked out and so
Oh, definitely.
and I kind of want to see this sort of that that sort of struggle of constantly wanting to be the best and sort of getting one-upped. And that's no discredit to Megadeth because they have a great legacy themselves, and I'm not trying to paint a villainous light on Metallica, but like being in a band before also, like you want to be the best, and whenever you see somebody just in your mind be a little bit better than you, there's just that little
There's a little drive,
there's that
especially
little
if that
rage.
was the band you came from, right?
Yeah,
Or wrote
exactly.
songs
Or you see
for,
that band succeed, and then they're
succeeding,
taking off. So I would love to see that perspective, and they're pretty good now, as far as I could tell. They tour. They've toured recently as the Big Four with Metallica, Megadeth, Anthrax, and Slayer. So like, there's opportunity to see those bands in those big concert venues too. Maybe you could see like a young Metallica being the young, kind of just more angsty kind of guys, and then you could throw in all these other bands too. So I think that's kind of what I would like to see. I would like to sort of see the drive and just this perspective of what it's like to be left behind or not left behind, but just kind of shoveled off to do your own thing,
Yeah.
and kind of still
And always being like underneath.
kind of
Like
again,
you
not to
feel,
discredit
you feel
them.
second best all the time.
Yeah, like one example in their history, like they came out with Countdown to Extinction as their fifth album. It's like probably one of their best albums. It debuted at number 2. Metallica's fifth album came out. That was the Black Album. Debuted at number 1 and sold so many more millions.
Right.
So-
Totally. And I thought of Metallica right away as a good band that should be in a movie. But they've had kind of similar, like they had
Had lots of documentaries. Yeah,
kinda
they had some kind
documentary
of
movies,
monster.
but
Yeah.
some kind of monster. What'd you got, Sam?
For bands, movie wise, like there's a lot of movies out there that already kind of covered it, so it's kind of hard to see how they got there. But I think the one dude that I do want to see is definitely David Bowie and his process of how he as a musician changed a lot, but yet kept it interesting and never lost his love for music. You know what I mean? Like he never got burnt out by his love. Like he kept on going. He tried different things. He tried a lot of different styles, and he was open-minded to music. Like he was really a true musician in my book, was because he was always open-minded. Another good one would be Eric Clapton.
Yeah.
Like the
Totally.
way he plays guitar, the way he kicks ass on it.
What a
and
career,
He
yeah.
looks so chill and relaxed. Yeah, definitely, Gagne. Like he seems like a cool dude you want to have a beer with and hear his stories
Yeah.
of what he went through, and like how he had a band, he went solo. Like he just seems like a cool guy.
Well, not just that, he had the tragedy of losing his son, and that inspired Tears in Heaven.
Yeah.
So, you could totally throw all that into his story.
Definitely, that'd be a great movie to see, dude. It's just that it'd be kind of sacrilegious to kind of cast somebody for David Bowie, though. Because Bowie is Bowie.
Somebody could do it. I mean, look around.
I was hoping we were going to see it in
True.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Give it
didn't
a
happen.
few years. Somebody be born and it just looks exactly like him. So let's go to Gagne. What you got, Gagne?
So I thought of a bunch of bands, but then I was like, I kind of wanted to not see the typical 70s rock like a Stones or Hendrix or something like the Clash, but I actually thought I would love to see kind of a Dave Grohl kind of story of coming from Nirvana into Foo
Nice.
Fighters
Oh,
with
shit, that's
you
true.
you got Courtney Love, who went on to do her own thing musically,
Totally.
and you could kind of follow that timeline in their late 80s through the early 90s with Nirvana's story, and then continuing on into Grohl going into the new band. I think that would be what I would want to see most. Great
that's a
music,
good one.
cool, a really heartbreaking story, and so that's where I'd go.
Nice. I'm gonna kind of spin. Oh, you got one, Chai? Yeah. Jump
Yeah,
in
I'm
there.
thinking Linkin Park actually, especially.
Ah,
yeah,
I was
shit.
thinking that too, actually.
Yeah.
my friend. One of my favorite bands.
yeah. So definitely, I mean, most people know their origin, but what makes it interesting, I think it's, besides Chester and Mike Shinoda having two different
Styles.
approach styles,
Yeah.
and from their first to second and their third album, and then their fourth album was completely like a 180 turn.
True.
So I think and I understood they sort of explained to it, but I feel like I really more curious how did they approach that, and then especially now they become movie soundtracks. How do you build up to that point? Okay, hey, well, now we have to make. It's not like the usual. Oh, hey, the movie likes this song. We're gonna use that in the soundtrack. It's more like, hey, I want
make
you
us a
to
song
for the
this
soundtrack.
Yeah, they got popular enough to where people were seeking them out.
Correct. So that's definitely very interesting, and especially touching on suicidal and depression. That's definitely could be very touching. It doesn't have to be all dramatic, but I think it just creates another
Layer of drama.
correct,
Right.
or another awareness for people to know.
Sure.
And then another thing is I like the fact that they reached out to do even EDM with Steve Aoki.
Oh,
That's a
yeah.
big deal. So they really stepped out of boundary their own comfort zone, and people for the longest time remember they were like, this is not the Linkin Park I grew
Sure.
up with, and I get it, and
People
some
evolve, though, So
correct. So that was their
Tastes
so,
evolve. The
so-
times evolved.
exactly. So that's another curiosity, especially they decided to do a collab with Jay-Z. So that definitely
Still one of the best.
Correct.
Right.
That's right. Yeah. So
That's just so good.
Yeah.
so that's what I'm more curious to see.
That's a good
Okay,
choice.
how do you sit down and go, all right, EDM time, or all right,
How do we switch it up?
Yeah,
How
so-
we continue to be popular.
correct, yeah.
Yeah. That's a good choice.
Good
One of
one.
my favorite bands. I definitely thought of that as well. The one I went with is very close to that and almost plays off that grunge scene. Was Savage Garden. Savage
Oh.
Garden. I'm sorry.
Nice. I don't know anything about it. I love it. It's so
Actually,
great.
you know what? I do
Not
like
Truly,
it.
madly, deeply,
No.
bro. It's okay. It's okay. You know, I know you're gay.
I'm gonna take a long pause here so we
still-
can
I
all
still love
get
you.
the jokes in. Go ahead. Come on.
Okay, everybody, do one. Come on, Flex. I know you got one.
It's okay.
Oh shit. Yeah, that
Yo,
I just want to stand
screw
with you
it-
by the sea,
Screw that
Adam. That's
title.
all.
I'm just gonna make this episode title called "Truly, Deeply, Madly." Like, that's it. That's the episode.
We enter a savage garden in this episode.
Oh yeah, we just read that Savage Garden.
It's so
That's
grunge.
funny.
You know, you're right. I do want to see this movie. I never realized what an interesting story.
This is all getting cut, by the way.
Take two.
No, you gotta clip an extra. Dude, come on, this is definitely good
Oh,
extras
man.
right here.
There's your extra
bonus.
content, Chai.
Yeah, I'm so happy.
bonus.
Yeah, we got a
All right,
bonus.
So what I meant to say was Soundgarden.
Yes.
Okay.
And Chris Cornell, and
Yes.
obviously how he went from them to Audio Slave, and he hooked up with Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine.
He was doing soundtracks for 007.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I
okay.
think
Yeah.
there's a lot there, history-wise, in that scene, the LA rock scene and the grunge
Yeah.
scene, that they kind of came together.
Just to hear the first album, Audio Slave, and to hear him do that thing with his sound range.
His
I was
vocal
like-
cord, yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, this man is crazy.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite singers of all time. And like
Yep.
Chai said, you can touch on, the depression and the suicide, because that seems to hit a lot of bands. So a lot of drama there, a lot of great songs, Black Hole Sun. I think there's a lot you can go with there.
Yeah, definitely, I agree.
Yeah, I was really close to doing something on the grunge scene too, because I think that was such a shift in music, because that was signaling the death of the '80s basically,
Oh,
and all that, the hair metal,
Right.
and whatnot.
Totally.
Especially
music-
when Alice in Chains showed up.
yeah,
everyone's
because
oh,
once
shit.
all those bands came out, Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, the music shifted completely. It was just heavy, dark,
definitely.
angry. It was very
Yeah.
moody, and I
Moody.
think that would be a really good, I guess documentation of just what it was
Something
like.
they haven't really covered yet. It's like
Yeah,
early
I think so.
90s music.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I agree.
Anything else
I
on
agree.
those guys?
I think everybody
Good
here has
choices,
a really
yeah.
good choices,
I agree.
honestly. Especially just it's so truly, madly, deeply.
Yeah, I'd like to see all of those movies.
Savage joke there, Sam. Savage joke.
Oh shit! He totally one up me.
All right.
Okay, okay, I'll let it go. I'll let it go. I'm sorry.
All right, guys. So if you checked out our Instagram, we posted this movie bracket from the 90s.
Yes.
Ghani's a whore for brackets, so we decided we were just going to do this one.
You weren't supposed to share that, Adam.
It's private talk.
Personal.
Jesus Christ.
It's in my diary.
So the way this is going to go, it was a pretty long bracket. It was a 64-teamer.
64. I didn't even
So what
realize.
we're going to do is kind of go over some of our some of the hard choices we had, plus we'll go over our top, our final four.
Okay.
And then our top winner.
Okay, sounds good.
Who wants to start?
All right, my final four. Forrest Gump.
Nice. It's a good movie.
Actually, I had the two Tom Hanks movie going up against each other.
Nice.
Saving Private Ryan and Forrest Gump.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
I decided.
Okay.
Well, I did sort of a little bit different. I started going down because some of the movies I really didn't know, so I just eliminated the bracket out because that way it's just
Okay.
yeah. And then the other side was Matrix and Shawshank.
There you go.
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay.
Okay, so overall winner, who got it?
Ah, shit. That's definitely hard.
Is he still working on that one?
You know
We'll come
what?
back to
You know the crazy part? So I grew up watching more of the Matrix, and then I went backwards watching what's it called, Saving Private Ryan, and then I watched Shawshank, and then Forrest Gump.
Okay. Yeah.
But then still deep down, I feel like Forrest Gump relates a lot more I like the idea that he's worked hard and not knowing what's going on. So I feel like that relates more to people seeing that, and that's more exciting as far as it goes. It relates more to the real world. I think that's what it comes down to. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, The Matrix is definitely, sci-fi in your head,
Yeah.
and you can kind of relate to Forrest Gump and how he kind of just digs himself out of each hole and moves forward and,
Correct.
perseveres and all
But
that.
they definitely win in their own genre on itself. I think that's the biggest thing. I think that's why it's so hard for me, because they're on separate genres. I mean, if I really had to, I really wish Rush Hour was more above Matrix.
Rush Hour.
Yeah, because that was
wasn't that wasn't on the list. That's
no,
for sure.
well, Rush Hour is on the list.
Was it?
Yeah, that's why the reason why it was a big deal to me, Rush Hour, is because one of the first Asian movies that, besides Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, which is not on there.
Or Rumble in the Bronx.
Yeah,
Crouching Tiger actually didn't come out in the 90s, so
Damn it.
Really?
There you
Yeah,
go.
sorry.
2000 movie.
Where's Rush Hour?
I
So
think it's
you're going
2000,
with
2001.
Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump. Very nice. Very nice.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah, Forrest Gump's a great, fantastic 90s movie. Felix, what you got?
Are we just going straight to Final Four then? God, I'm gonna stop
You know,
making
let's go to
it
Final
Take it as
Four.
real. You can go with. Yeah, we'll go with hard choices afterward.
All right, well, I'll just go to my Final Four. It came down to Terminator 2 versus 7, Silence of the Lambs versus Toy Story. I know, that was tough.
Kind of a strange matchup there.
And then it came down to my final two, Terminator 2 versus Silence of the Lambs. And
Yeah.
I called it before I even looked at the bracket. Terminator 2 is my favorite movie from the
Sure.
90s, so it pretty much beelined all the way to the very end for me. The one matchup that I really got to call out, just like very first round, Toy Story versus Jurassic Park. What the hell?
Right?
That was bull.
Oh my
I mean,
God. Like,
I ended up having to pick Toy Story over it in the end. I guess
tough.
that was tough.
It's tough.
I really hated that, but yeah, I ended up picking up Toy Story over that. I would probably say that's the one I had the hardest time overall. But yeah, no, there's. I feel like I went through this pretty quick. I tried not to overthink it too much. I kind of went like instinctually, like what's the first one that came to mind, and
Yeah.
this is kind of what came out naturally for me.
That's pretty cool, dude. That's a pretty cool lineup. I like that.
Hey, dude, T2 all the way.
I tried to think of which movie I would rather pop in, like at any time. If it was a hard.
That's a good
choice.
way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you get, Sam?
My final four. I don't think you guys are gonna like it too much. It's Heat versus Fight Club,
oh,
And then-
good.
and then Bad Boys versus Jurassic Park.
Okay.
Oh, great movies.
Well, guns don't beat dinosaur.
I finally matched with you or matched with somebody on one.
yeah, right.
For me, it's hard between Fight Club and Heat because I could watch it.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Like those final fours. It's a hard choice, but if I had to choose one on a desert island, I would go with Fight Club just because it's very relatable in the fact that
Relatable.
when you work no because like we've all worked in the service industry, we all work late nights.
Punch
and,
me in the ear.
And you don't fuck with people that deals with your food from concession stands.
Ah,
Yeah, that's pretty deep. That's 18 years of a lot of emotions.
I'm just saying, man. You don't mess with people that deal with your food,
you have
man.
an obsession with IKEA catalogs?
Let's just say working projections. You can relate to this situation.
Yeah, Fight Club. Totally.
You always think about you want to splice something in there in the film, just to catch
Just
someone
one
off
second,
guard.
they'll never notice. What'd you have, Gandhi?
All right, so yeah, my honorable mention for tough matchups in the beginning for me. I mean, Silence of the Lambs going against like Sixth Sense, Matrix against Big Lebowski. Like these are all movies that like are really high up on my list. The Usual Suspects versus Seven. Like I had to eliminate
that's
Seven in my first round because I loved The Usual Suspects and have for a long time. So yeah, I mean, you guys can say whatever, but I'm a Singer fan.
Oh, that's a tough matchup.
Yeah, my final four. I did this bracket not so much from like what I love, but a lot of like what is in kind of pop culture and referenced and carried on since then. So I went with Pulp Fiction, Forrest Gump, Shawshank Redemption, and Jurassic Park.
Dang, nice.
And I ultimately ended with Pulp Fiction. I think that it's just like an ultimate 90s movie and launched a career of, one of the best, in my opinion, American directors. Yeah, so.
Yeah, totally. I agree with you. Definitely some hard choices. I wanted to single out Space Jam and Titanic.
Okay, that was a funny.
Only
that was
'cause-
That wasn't a hard one for me,
I
but.
hope you made the right choice. Adam.
I did. Space Jam.
Space Jam it is.
Oh, God, did you really?
Yeah, it's Space Jam.
Yeah.
Oh.
See, again, I said, which movie would I rather pop in and watch at any
Okay.
time?
Half
All right,
five.
so
Good point. Good point.
Space Jam.
I mean, what's more 90s than it? You had Bill Murray, Wayne Knight, and Michael
Totally.
Jordan in the same movie.
Totally. And I was a huge Bulls fan growing up, so loved Michael Jordan. So my four came down to Terminator 2, Groundhog's Day,
Ooh.
and then Speed and The Matrix.
Speed?
Yep, Speed. I know.
We got issues, man.
Keanu's in
I
there?
had two
Wait,
Keanu's
so
in
you're
there.
saying
I had
Speed
two Tom Hanks.
beat Friday?
You can't compare Keanu Reeves and Tom Hanks, first of all.
Then it beat Bad Boys and Silence of... Get out of here.
That was one of the tough ones. Speed and Bad Boys, man. All right, so eventually that didn't matter anyway because The Matrix eventually took this bracket for me.
Oh, wow.
I think my hardest choice was between Rounders and Jurassic Park, to be honest, because
Okay.
I fucking love Rounders. And
Yeah,
I'm a
Rounders
big
is good,
poker
bro.
fan. Matt Damon, of course. And,
Matt Damon.
yeah, but eventually I think Matrix beat that out. It's just kind of the ultimate 90s action movie for me. I think it, started the revolution with some of these, the CG and
Well,
the slowdowns.
Plus,
and bullet time
plus
and
with the
all that kind of stuff.
Matrix and its sci-fi style, it made you think. It like really boosted your creative juices, because we're all here like some sort of artists, right? So it causes you want to draw more, want to be more creative
Totally.
with your style, and it's really good,
Yeah, I think it influenced a lot of directors coming out, like Christopher Nolan and
Oh,
type of,
definitely.
all those kind of
Definitely.
in your head type of movies.
See,
That was
the
a tough
thing.
one.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Gagne.
I was just say I went Jurassic Matrix back and forth like for a long time, but Jurassic Park just was a time like where I was 12-year-old kid and seeing that on the big screen just blew me
Yeah.
away and still brings me back when I hear that music. So I had to go there, but
Yeah.
God, I love
No,
the Matrix
agree.
too.
Pretty close on that. Definitely close calls. Another one I thought was close was T2 and Heat. That was in my kind of semifinal round.
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
That's hard. That's hard.
But like Felix said, T2 is just kind of that.
Wasn't that hard?
Yeah. Well, come on, man.
No discredit. to
Heat's
either.
amazing, but yeah, T2 is T2.
Anybody else have comments on this one?
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, yeah, you're right though. Matrix was another thing. It got really deep. Besides the martial arts, like it just got really deep. I mean, I was into it because especially not gonna get to the whole religion thing, but it was just to that point. I was like, whoa, this is.
Makes you think of what's real and what's not.
So, and then, that was, I remember when that movie came out, it just became this huge debate of people, like, people were just debating, like, people who didn't know about religion and people who knew about religion. There was just a big discussion coming up, and it was just nice to know, like, wow, I couldn't believe that movie was
A door opener.
yeah, I was like, wow, that's amazing. Like, and that's what I think, appreciating a lot of movies, that's why, like, the whole Linkin Park thing to me was a big deal. Like, oh, the depth of, like, how you could go with movies. Yeah.
What was the hardest region for you guys?
The hardest region for us. For me, it was the Goodfellas section. I think it had a lot of things like Braveheart, Home Alone, Toy Story, Jurassic Park, Rounders, Matrix, Lebowski, that type of thing. What'd you guys think?
Yeah, I do agree. Actually, the Shawshank side was pretty. That was hard.
Yeah, I guess the whole right side of the bracket was pretty tough.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's the Fight Club side for
Who
me.
made this? Who made this
well,
bracket?
let's talk about what wasn't on this bracket for a second here.
Totally. There was obviously
We should do our
thousands of
own.
movies in the '90s.
Oh, yeah.
This one did a pretty good job, I thought, of listing some of the majors, but definitely some that were missing. A couple that I thought: Ace Ventura
Yeah.
and The Rock.
You mentioned Airheads earlier.
Yeah.
Airheads
Yeah.
could possibly be on that list as a great '90s movie.
Not enough Sandler, dude. There's no Happy Gilmore. There's no Billy Madison.
Sure.
Oh wow, yeah, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no Kindergarten Cop. Hello.
He's not a
Wasn't that an
Tuma.
'80s movie?
That
Yeah, it was
might have
1990.
been-
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure it was 1990.
Yeah.
Demolition Man. Blade.
Demolition Man.
Empire Records. I mean, I don't know if anybody else is into
Oh,
that,
yeah.
but I love that.
I
That was
love that
very
movie.
90s.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Well, like Kanye said, Clerks, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
Clerks.
Yeah, that's a big omission for me.
For me, it's Can't Hardly Wait and 10 Things I Hate About You.
10 Things I Hate About
Okay.
You.
It meant a lot to me.
Oh, what about it? Was
I
it
love
Knight's
Can't Hardly
Tale?
Wait.
Oh, A Knight's Tale. Fuck yes, A Knight's Tale.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot.
yeah.
Dude,
So
the thing-
I saw
we should make
63
our-
of the 64.
Did you really?
Did anyone
Okay.
see all of them?
That's
Yeah.
actually pretty good.
There's
There were
a
a couple
couple I
on here
missed.
that I'd missed. Yeah. Like I don't think I saw Donnie Brasco. There's.
I never saw He Got Game.
I never saw He Got Game.
Love that movie.
Everybody here saw White Man Can't Jump, right?
Of course.
Of course.
Okay, just making sure. They just making
It
sure.
was like Jungle Fever. I don't think I saw that one.
Yeah, I didn't see that either.
Carlito's Way. I never saw
I
that.
remember Carlito's Way. Pacino.
Most of these, yeah, were fantastic movies, though.
Star Wars Episode 1.
Child, the exit's that way.
It is the best Star Wars movie ever made. So
That's right, right? Felix, according to episode,
Stand
what was
by
it,
that.
30?
What was
Neo's
it about
episode
again?
20?
What was it about again? Star Wars? What was it about?
trade routes, man. It's very progressive. I mean, come on.
And the stereotypes?
Yeah, dude. I mean, come
Well-
on. That movie gave the little people a chance. I mean, it really did. Jar Jar Binks excelled all the way to a high political seat of power.
God.
Come on. This should sound very familiar, America.
Yep. Go back and watch episode 20. I think
The only thing I can't stand is the fan theory that Jar Jar was a Sith Lord the whole time. I'm like, no.
But he
No,
was.
Jar Jar was not a Sith Lord the
No.
whole
He's
time.
using Jedi mind
Get
tricks
the
on
fuck
you. That's
outta
why
here.
you can't tell.
It's the drunken Jedi Master.
Get the
All
fuck
right.
out of here.
All right, audience, go check out the bracket. Let us know who your winner was. Check us out
us.
also on Podbean, iTunes, all the podcasting apps, and all that good stuff.
The Googles.
The Googles. Google us. You Google eyes.
Yeah, you Google.
Google us. It tickles.
Yeah, Google all over us.
Whoa. Whoa, bro.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. We will catch you next week.
Peace.
Woo. NASCAR.